Welcome to the Explainer series for Quant. Here we'll be using very simple concepts and apply it to CAT level problems and solve them as easily as possible. In this session, we'll continue with coordinate geometry. We'll be looking at lines, equation of a line, and some amount of circles as well. We'll also solve a few questions from the past GAT, ZAT papers, etc., including one of my favorites. I would suggest pause this video, have a look at the PDF. The link is available in the description of this video. Once you have tried these questions on your own, then proceed with the rest of this session. Please do share this with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. You can like and follow us on Facebook as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel to get live event and notifications for all the updates regarding CAT and other MBA entrance examination. You can also look at our WhatsApp as well as Telegram lists. You can join over there and we will update you. We don't spam over there. If you want, you can enroll for our Quant and LRDI courses. These are the best and the most comprehensive courses available in the market. Now, in the last part, we had looked at points. Points are the building block of a line. Now, we know in a plane, if you have 2 points, you'll have one unique line. Now, in a coordinate geometry system, you can have the same scenario. One of the easiest ways to describe a line is a 2-point form. So if you know the coordinates of 2 points, x1, y1 and x2, y2, then you can find the equation of a line. Now this comes from a similar triangle. So if you take any general point xy on this line, right, if you use similar triangles, right, so the ratio of height to width of any triangle will be same as the height to width of the other triangle. Now this ratio of height to width in trigonometry, we know it's called tan theta, right? So if this angle is theta, it's tan theta, right? In coordinate geometry parlance, it's called the slope, right? We'll come to the slope intercept form a little later, right? So one is the 2-point form. So you basically measure the slopes and equate the two. So the slope of x1, the triangle formed by x1, y1, x2, y2 and a third point, let's call P, right? This will be a right angle triangle. This is the slope. And if you call this Q, the triangle formed by xy, x2, y2 and Q, right? So this will be the slope here. So we equate the two slopes and we get the equation of a line in the 2-point form. Now if you resolve it, it will come as a linear equation in 2 variables, right? That's the equation of a line. Now there are 2 additional parts, special lines, which you should be familiar with. One is basically the x-axis, which in itself is a line. Now x-axis, any point on this line will have the y coordinate as 0, right? So the equation of x-axis is simply y is equal to 0, and similarly equation of the y-axis will be x is equal to 0. You can extend this 2-point form to another form, which is called the slope intercept, which is called the intercept form. Now, every line except for the x and y axis, they intersect the lines, the axis at 2 points. So if you have a line like this, it will intersect at 2 points. Any line which is parallel to the y-axis will intersect only on the x-axis, not on the y-axis. And similarly, any line which is parallel to the x-axis will intersect only on the y-axis, not on the x-axis, right? So you can find the slope intercept form. You can rewrite this into this format, right? It will be x by p divided by y by q is equal to 1, right? Where p is the x-intercept, the point at which it intersects the x-axis, and q is the y-intercept, where it intersects the y-axis. So p0 is the point at which it intersects the x-axis, and 0q is the point where it intersects the y-axis. Now p and q can be negative as well, depending on how the line is. A third form, it is a combination of trigonometry as well as the intercept form, is called the slope intercept form. Now if you have any one point, right, you can draw infinitely many lines, right? But if I tell you that the line passes through a particular point, right, and I give you the angle of this line with the y-axis, right, there will be one unique line like this, right? So slope intercept form gives you that line, right? What is that form? R is basically the place where it intersects the y-axis. So basically it's the y-intercept, right? And m is the slope of the line, which is basically tan theta. Now for any line, you can actually find the slope as we found this one. If you know 2 points on the line, the slope would be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, right? This is the slope of this, of any line. Height to base will be your tan theta. So that's the slope of the line. Pretty nice. All of them are interrelated to each other. Now, if you continue with this, once you know a line, you can draw a line which is parallel to these lines or perpendicular to these lines. Now, any line which is parallel to a given line will have the same slope as the original line. So if this is your reference line, ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Any line which is parallel to this will be of the form ax plus by is equal to, or plus k is equal to 0. Right, now the value of k has to be found out depending on if it passes through a particular point. Right, if I give you another reference point, you can put the values of x and y here and find the value of k. Right, but the coefficients of x and the coefficients of y will not change. Similarly, for a line which is perpendicular to a given line, there will be multiple lines which are there. Now, to find a line which is perpendicular, the key comes from trigonometry again. Right, product of the slopes will be minus 1. Right, product of the slopes will be minus 1. So if this is the line segment, right, the slope of this line would be y is equal to minus ax minus c. So divided by b. So slope of this line would be minus a by b. Right, so slope of the other line would be this into some value. So let's call it slope 2 is equal to minus 1. So slope 2 would be b by a. Now let's form a line which has a slope b by a. The equation of a line which is of the form b by a would be y is equal to b by a x plus some constant, right, using the slope intercept form. If you rewrite this, you will get ay is equal to bx plus ka. If you rewrite this, you'll get bx minus ay plus ka is equal to 0. This will be the equation of this line, right? So a shorthand form of remembering this is interchange the coefficients of x and y and change the sign of exactly one of them. Don't change both the signs, you'll get the same line again. You'll get a completely different line, right? Change the sign of just one of them. Okay, interchange the coefficient. So if it is 3x plus 4y is equal to 0, a line which will be perpendicular to this will be 4x minus 3y is equal to some constant, or minus 4x plus 3y is equal to some constant, right? Same line, right? Interchange the coefficients, change the sign of one of them. Now, once you know a line, you can also find the distance of a point from that line. So if the line is of the form ax plus by plus c, distance of the form is given in this manner, right? And if you have two parallel lines, the distance between the two lines can be found here, where c2 and c are the constants on this equation, right? This is a pretty standard relation. It's used pretty widely in a lot of CAT papers, etc. Now, a third sort of a curve which you will probably have to be worried about is the equation of a circle. Right, the most generic form, and this is more than sufficient to answer 90% of the questions, is if you have a circle with center at a, b and radius r, right, the equation would be x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square is equal to r square. Now, why it is so? The proof is very awesome. Figure it out. You'll find it on Wikipedia, Khan Academy, etc. It's a very nice proof. Try to figure it out. Hint: Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so let's use these relations and try to solve a few questions from the past CAT and XAT papers. The first question is from CAT 2017, slot 2. It says the points 2, 5 and 6, 3 are two endpoints of a diagonal. If the other diagonal has this equation, what is the value of C? Okay, so if I were to draw this, so one point is 2, 5 and another end of the diagonal is 6, 3. right? Now you know the equation of the other diagonal is given as y is equal to 3x plus c. You need to find the value of c. Now what is the property of a diagonal of a rectangle? They bisect each other, right? So I know the two endpoints of the diagonal, so I know the midpoint of the diagonal. This midpoint has to lie on this line. What is the midpoint? 6 plus 2 divided by 2, which is 4. And the other one is 3 plus 5, which is also 4. So the point 4, 4 should satisfy this relation. Let's substitute this. So 4 equals 3 into 4 plus c, which gives you c is equal to minus 8. Option D. Under 1 minute in an exam situation. Job done. The second question is from CAT 2019, slot 1, right? This one says that let T be a triangle formed by the straight line this and the coordinate axis. Okay, so let me draw this, right? Let the circumcircle of T have a radius of length L, measured in the same unit as the coordinate axis. What is the integer closest to L? Now, this is a right angle triangle. What does the circumcircle of a right angle triangle do? Now the circumcenter would be the midpoint of the hypotenuse, right? And the circumcircle will pass through like this, right? So something like this. I need the radius. Radius is basically half the hypotenuse. Basically I need to find the hypotenuse. Easiest way to find the hypotenuse, convert this into the intercept form. So 3x plus 5y minus 45 equals 0, right? If you rewrite this, you'll get 3x plus 5y equals 45. Divided by 45 throughout, you'll get x by 15 plus y by 9 equals 1. Once you have it in this form, you know it intersects the x-axis as 15, 0, intersects the y-axis as 0, 9. This length is 9 units. This length is 15 units. What will be this unit? This hypotenuse will be square root of 9 square plus 15 square. 9 square is 81. 15 square is 225. So it is square root of 306. Now we know root 324 equals 18. So it's very close to 18, right? It's close to 18, slightly higher. Half of the hypotenuse would be the circumradius, so 18 by 2. So the number you're looking for is 9. The third question is from CAT 2000. Very straightforward. I used it because it's a pretty simple application of parallel lines. It says ABCD is a rhombus of diagonals with diagonals AC and BD intersecting at the origin. Okay, so you'll have something like this. AC and BD intersect at the origin. The equation of the straight line AD is x plus y is equal to 1. So x plus y equals 1. AD, let's call this B, let's call this C. This intersect at the origin. What is the equation of BC? Now anything which is parallel to this line, diagonals, the sides of the rhombus are parallel to, opposite sides are parallel to each other. It's a special parallelogram, right? Now given that the diagonals are going to be like this, right, and they intersect at the origin, right, the coordinate axis will be the diagonals, or the diagonals will lie on the coordinate axis. So you know that the coordinate axis, the point here is 0, 1, and the point here will be 1, 0, right? Now the diagonals of a rhombus bisect each other at right angle. So whatever is this length will be the same length here. So I need to go the same shift here. This is 1 unit. I need to go 1 unit to the left. So this will be minus 1, 0. And this length would be, by the same logic, it will be 0, minus 1. Right. So the length, the equation of the line BC has to satisfy both these points. And it is parallel to x plus y is equal to 1. So it should be of the form x plus y is equal to k. Now if you substitute minus 1, 0 in it, minus 1 plus 0 is equal to k. K should be equal to minus 1. So the equation is x plus y is equal to minus 1. Option A is your correct choice. In an exam situation, about 1.5 minutes max to solve this. The fourth question is from IFT 2016. Again, a very similar question to the previous ones. Suppose two sides of a square are along the straight lines here. What is the area of the square? Okay, now if you observe carefully, these two sides are parallel to each other. Okay, so you will get two sides and you are given two parallel sides. How did I find out this is parallel? Let's rewrite this. I can write this as 3x minus 4y equals minus 2. Right, if you look at the ratio of x to y, right, 3 and minus 4, this is 6 and minus 8, which is same as 3 is to minus 4. So the slope of the two lines will be the same, which means these two are parallel to each other. Right, once you do that, we can solve this. Now either convert this into this format or this into this format. Let's multiply this by 2. You'll get 6x minus 8y equals minus 4. So the other line will be 6x minus 8y is equal to 15. So we have two parallel lines, right? What do we need? We need to find the area of the square. To find the area of the square, we need the side. Side is basically the distance between these two parallel lines. Apply the relation directly. 15 minus minus 4 modulus divided by square root of 6 square plus 8 square. 15 minus minus 4 is 19 divided by 10. So that's 1.9. That is the side. Area will be side square. Option B. Straightforward, job done. Fifth question is from CAT 2018 slot 2. It says a triangle ABC has area 32 square units and its side BC of 8 units lies on the line x is equal to 4. Okay, so if this is the origin, this will be the equation of x is equal to 4. It will be parallel to the y-axis. Right, on this line the x coordinate will always be equal to 4. So BC lies somewhere here. We don't know the exact coordinates, but we know that the length is 8. Now what is the shortest possible distance between A and the point 0 0? Right, now A can be here or here, whichever place it is, right? But to find A, right, what is the area of a triangle? Half base into height. I know the base. That is 8. So height will be the distance of A from BC. Right, which means the distance of this point from the line x is equal to 4. So half of height into 8 should be equal to 32. Which means height should be 8. So the point A should be 8 units away from this line. So it can be 8 units away on this side, in which case it will lie on x is equal to 12. A can be any point here, or it can lie on 4 minus 8. So minus 4. Right, this gap is 8. Right, now the question is, what is the shortest possible distance between A and the point 0 0? Right, so if A lies here, depending on how A lies on this line, the shortest distance will be when A is equal to 12 0, in which case the distance will be 12 units. Right, if I take this part, A will lie on x is equal to minus 4. The shortest possible will be when it is at minus 4 0. Right, in which case the distance will be 4 units. Option 4. It actually takes longer to explain than to actually solve in an exam situation. Max 1.5 minutes to solve this. Job done. And the last one is one of my all-time favorite CAT questions. Let's see what this says. The graph of y minus x and y plus x. Now usually you have y, x and y axis, but here you have y plus x and y minus x is shown. All the graphs in the question are drawn to scale and the same scale has been used. So your question is, which of them will represent the graph x versus y? So if I were to draw a graph of x versus y, which of them will represent x versus y? Okay. Now let's draw all possible lines, right? So if you have your usual x-axis, your usual y-axis, right? When the slope is 45, so when you say y is equal to x, you will have something like this, right? When you have y is equal to minus x, you'll have the other slope. Now anything which lies between y is equal to x and the y coordinate the slope will be y is equal to kx, where k is greater than 1. Similarly, anything which lies between y is equal to x and the x-axis, the slope would be y is equal to kx, where k is between 0 and 1. Right? It will not be negative. Now, as you go down, so the line which lies between y is equal to minus x and the x-axis would have y is equal to kx again, where k will be between 0 and minus 1. Right? And similarly, you can draw another line here. This will also have y is equal to kx, right? But in this case, k will be less than minus 1, right? Okay, so now if you were to do it in the similar manner here, if I call this x and this is y, right? This will be of this format where k is greater than 1. Let's rewrite this. So you'll have y minus x should be equal to k times y plus x. And I know k is greater than 1. Let's rewrite this. So you'll get y minus x is equal to ky plus kx. Let's rewrite this. So you'll get k minus 1 into y should be equal to minus of k plus 1 times x. Right? If I rewrite this, you will get y is equal to minus of k plus 1 divided by k minus 1 times x. Now, what can you say about this relation? Is it going to be more than 1, less than 1? What is it? Right. We know k is greater than 1, right? Which means the numerator will definitely be more than denominator, which means the final numerator has to be greater than 1. But because it is negative, the final slope would be less than minus 1. Right? What is the slope of less than minus 1? It will be a graph like this. Option B. Job done. Beautiful question. Does not require a lot of calculation, but requires a little conceptual clarity of how slopes work, how equations of a straight line, etc. work. As you can see, the questions on straight lines does not go a lot away from basic concepts of geometry. The only problem, as with most coordinate geometry questions, is that you'll have to draw a graph. If you are not willing to draw a graph and try to visualize in your head, you're going to get into a lot of trouble. Be a little less lazy, draw the graph, the question usually solves itself. That completes this particular session. If you liked it, please do share it with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examination. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow our Facebook page. The links for our course are available on the description to this video. Till we meet again the next time, goodbye and all the best.